I put the recording. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. It's really nice to meet you once again. So it's cohort two. It's funny enough, it's like over almost a year since we had our first cohort, and it's nice to like redo this over again. And yeah, so we'll just start quickly on this with a bit of like housekeeping, and we'll just talk about a bit of the fellowship. And Doctor has done like justice to that and talked about the fellowship. And I will just kind of discuss what we'll be doing during the fellowship and what you'll be learning, and also any additional information you might need for the fellowship. And before we get started, so which hopefully will help your journey in learning deep learning with PyTorch and your hopefully in your future career as well, inshallah. Yeah, so like Doctor mentioned, the deep learning course started like almost a year ago. So precisely like December 2023. So it was like interesting the goal of teaching individuals from underrepresented part of Nigeria about AI, deep learning, and the rest. So teaching them much more like practical skills in which they could use in their academic or career pursuit as people. So, and hopefully help them advance in their respective journeys. So in the first cohort, interestingly, we had like 20 participants, which maybe then felt like relatively like a lot then. And but it was quite exciting really because like we had like really good experience learning. So I would say the outcome was much more of like learning together with those participants. So we're like sharing knowledge and it was like very interactive then. And fortunately now we have like four of them will be returning as your co-instructors to guide you better based on their experiences and the expertise they've gained over the years. So, and it's much more interesting to see like for this year, we have like some maybe times seven of like what we had last year, which is like 147 participants. And congratulations to you all who made it through the selection. It wasn't an easy selection process really, because you were all like kind of checking the boxes. So it was like it kind of like yeah, we made good decisions and it's nice to have you here. I hope you make the best of the opportunity you have been presented with, and hopefully we'll be here to guide you as much as possible in all your endeavors with like learning in this particular cohort. So I would like briefly introduce myself, but Doctor has done much justice to that also. So currently I'm at Alto University. I'm like a doctoral researcher in which I work on, or my research focuses on like how you could effectively train like very large language models at large scale. And my past experience, I've worked as a software engineering intern at Quantum Black AI Labs, which is like a sub company of McKinsey, major like an AI consultancy company. So there I worked with like the commercial X team in which we dealt with like large scale machine learning pipelines. And it was like a very valuable experience, 4 months internship, which was like really, really good. And I was fortunate to be a Google DeepMind scholar. That was like for 2022, 2023, which funded my studies for at Queen Mary University of London, where I studied like an MSc in AI. So which it also like kind of helped me get a very valuable background for like machine learning and deep learning, especially like deep learning for computer vision and robotics. So, and my bachelor's was from Ahmad Bello University, which was like very key in solidifying my knowledge of engineering and science, bringing things together and pushing me into the computer world. So that's like majorly about my background, and I've worked on some couple of like projects with other people. So happy to discuss more if you have like any ideas or any if you want any advice regarding that also. So along myself, we have like other co-instructors who have done like really good job during like their own time at the fellowship, which was like last year. So they were like they were kind of very how will I put it? They put in the hard work and they've done well and they're still like doing like extremely good. You have Lukman, you have Sani, you have Bala, and you have Aminu. So they have like different background. One is like a PhD, one knows like lots of mathematics, one is like really has done like very cool like social related work. So you will learn a lot from them, and they have like different backgrounds, and I'm very sure they'll be able to assist you as much as possible. Yes. So in this particular fellowship, you are kind of required to know some particular basics. So, but don't worry if you don't know that. So one of the basics is like you have basic fundamental knowledge of machine learning, but we'll still like go over it over and over again. So don't be bothered if it's like a bit rusty. We will still go over it. Then some major tools we'll be using here are like Python. and version control with GitHub. Then you have like the Jupyter Notebook and Colab. So any of the two between the Jupyter Notebook and Colab is fine. So, but yeah, so these are like the major things we'll be using over the course of this particular fellowship. And so if you don't know about them, don't worry, we'll still find time for you to solidify on these particular skills. So these are like what are like the foundations you need for this particular fellowship. So just like a brief Q&A before maybe we dig deep into like the learning resources for this fellowship. So quick question, has any one of you like used PyTorch or any deep learning like library before? You can just type on the chat just to get a bit engaged. Okay. Okay, I can see like, okay, I can see some yes, mainly yes, Keras, TensorFlow, and some no's also, which is like fine, TensorFlow. Okay, yeah, no worries. Yeah, yeah, thanks for the response. So that's nice. And just a quick one, are you familiar with like GitHub, or have you used Git or GitHub before in any of your workflows? So you can also like type out on the chat. Ah, I see like lots of yes for GitHub. So, okay, awesome. Awesome, super cool. Yeah, so I just wanted to like get some statistics of like your experience. So for PyTorch, it's fine because one of the major focus of this particular fellowship is to teach you about PyTorch. So you have already a background on machine learning. So it's to teach you or to show you like how you could use PyTorch in your workflow if you haven't experienced that. So, but if you have, that's fine also. So hopefully you get to learn more from this particular fellowship. But if you don't, it's still fine. So we'll take you from the very basics and get to learn like the fundamentals of PyTorch up to much more advanced stuff of how you could train models with PyTorch and deploy them, which you could easily use or share it to anyone to use. Yes. So it's all fine. You're all on track. So the main learning resource for this course is, or this fellowship is on this page, which is on the GitHub page for Arewa Data Science. So we will share it. It's already public. So, but if you can't find it, don't worry. In the next subsequent announcement or introduction, we'll also share it so that you can look at it. So I'll just briefly go over this, but if you do have time within the week, definitely like look at it before we start the fellowship proper by next week. So just familiarize yourself with it. And since most of you have like an experience of GitHub and Git, so you can like clone the repository and probably like play around with it for now. So one of the major resources for you get like most of the information you need. So as Dr. mentioned, we start with the deep learning, PyTorch, and next it's like the NLP with deep learning, which will be starting soon, hopefully, and hopefully you get to attend that also. So one of the key resources for this particular fellowship is like the particular PyTorch deep learning lib was a repository by Bokeh. So everything you need to know is on this. So the learning resources, but don't worry, I'll take you through everything step by step. So the key idea is here has like some learning resources. Then I take you through them and kind of do some much more lucid explanations on these topics and also expand on what has been like treated in this particular notebook. So don't worry about it. We'll go through them together and hopefully you get to learn as much as possible. Yes, so that's it for the learning resources. Then here in this particular like section, you have just like more details of what exercises you might need to be doing and also like recordings of past lectures. Like this lecture, this current recording, you'll find it here also probably by tomorrow or so before the end of the day. So yeah, so that's where here you find like all the necessary information of the lessons and like the exercises you might need to do and submit. So for the exercises also, we would send out weekly announcements and about like what you need to submit and the kind of deadlines when you will need to submit them also. So yes. So that's major. So we have like a few references, which are like majorly books. We have this little book on deep learning and deep learning with PyTorch. So these references are just for you to look at. So you don't need to cover them like page to page or cover to cover. So everything you need is from this particular repository here, which we will also go through together. So for the resources, if you want to do some additional learning, which is like very key in like anything you do, you learn and you want to expand beyond what you've learned already, then you use like a few of additional resources, but it doesn't have to be this. You could get creative or use ChatGPT to get like additional information on learning. You could also go online beyond these resources. But also like apart from this, you can also reach out to me or any of the co-instructors on the Discord page, which Doctor has mentioned. Then we get to discuss them further at any point in time. So always feel free to do that. So yes, so those are like the learning resources. So for the expectations for this particular fellowship is you have like weekly exercises. So these weekly exercises are just like some exercises solidified what you've learned over the week or what the lectures we've done. So just to get some more practical and hands-on skill so that you see what you've learned and try to implement it as much as possible. And you have like a deadline of approximately 1 week. So we'll see how to work on that deadline. So let's say you have a lecture on Saturday and the deadline will be like subsequent Sunday. So you have like a 1 week span, but we'll see how to adjust because the cohort is quite large and grading those assignments takes time because we want to give you like we want to kind of grade it really well and give you like helpful comments to help you do better in the future, like for the fellowship and also for also your career in the future. Yes, so we have weekly assignments. Then one final key component of this fellowship is the capstone project. So at the end of the day, after you've done all these weekly exercises, so what we would love to do is like, what we love you to do is like to group you into a group of 4 or 5. So we are still like deliberating on this, in which you do a research project because so far, after the weekly assignment, what you have learned is mostly like constrained. So you have some like questions and you have like some expected answers. So a research project is for you to explore what you can do beyond, yeah, just learning and submitting notebooks. Then you look at some kind of concrete problems and see how you could apply what you've learned from deep learning and solve those kind of problems. So don't worry, it's nothing too extensive. And I and other co-instructors will be there to guide you and give you any valuable suggestions. So because this is what happens in the real world at the end of the day, you have a real world problem and you try to see how you could use the deep learning techniques with PyTorch you've learned to see how you could tackle them. So yeah, so and don't worry, all these are just like some initial information, other more critical information about that you need about the group project will be like sent out to you, but don't worry about this. So your major focus should be on the weekly assignments. So after weekly assignment, then we can talk in depth about the capstone project. So just highlight some of the like really cool works the past cohort have done. So I really enjoyed working and I really enjoyed the fellowship with them. So at the end of the day, we were like learning from each other. So it was like a two-way kind of interaction. So I hope it will be the same with you too. And yeah, so one of the projects they did was like on image classification for wildlife. We know how wildlife is really important, especially in our own region of the world. So this particular project focused on how you could use like some deep learning techniques to identify a wildlife or identify or classify animals in the wild. So they did a really cool project for that, and they did it like end to end. They got the data set, they trained the model, and they also deployed it in which anyone can use it. So it was like quite cool. So one other project was like food image classification. So if you are like me that likes food, so this might be some kind of really cool project you want to like look into. So they look at how you could classify like local Nigerian foods with deep learning. So you might think about it in this way, in which perhaps some kind of restaurant might want to use this service. So it might have some financial gains for that particular like restaurant or some kind of service that might require this. Then finally, it's like leaf disease classification. We know how Nigeria is like one of the massive farmers of like rice in Nigeria. So having this kind of particular model that uses deep learning to early detect rice diseases, it's like very, very key for farmers. So these are like just few of the key projects that some of the participants have done. So, and just to give you like an example and see, so, but don't worry, don't think it's something like really extensive. So it's something you can do also, but don't worry, you get all the necessary skills and also tools and expertise needed for you to do this project. So I'm really excited to see what you guys will do at the end of the day. But right now, we'll just focus on for you guys to get the key fundamental skills needed. So some of the few learning outcomes here is for you to learn how to develop and train models with PyTorch, which we'll go through step by step. Don't worry about that. Then understand like some common key like deep learning architectures, which is like the residual networks and convolution networks, understand like the benefits and the limitations, to understand how like at the end of the day, you can like deploy these models in which anyone can use. So let's see, as a deep learning engineer, you can like work with these models and work with them in your Jupyter notebook. But at the end of the day, if you give an end user a Jupyter notebook, it's not likely they can be able to use it. So with model deployment, you can deploy it on like the web, in which anyone can look at and learn to use it. So look at your, I think one common example is like the chat GPT, for instance. So you just go into the website chat GPT and type on the console your questions. So it's easy. So you don't know what's happening at the back. So it's similar in some way, in which you create a kind of really cool interface for users to use. And finally is the research project, so which will really help you in numerous ways. One, it's like you learn how to collaborate with others, which is really key. And it's especially if you are in the research field, you don't want to work alone, you want to work with others, tap from their knowledge, and it helps you to work on projects end to end. You look at the problem, and at the end of it, you have like a solution. So those are like the key learning outcomes. So as Doctor mentioned, one of the next steps for you, if you are interested, is the deep learning with NLP with deep learning. So you can like go into that, because this particular cohort is like PyTorch based, but focus on computer vision. So that's like one of the focus. So next you can like dig deep into like deep learning with NLP. So the means of communication. So I think there is, so here I mentioned Telegram, but it will be Discord. So more information about Discord will be sent to you. So yeah, so more information about communication will be sent to you entirely. So we appreciate feedback. So there'll be like monthly feedback forms. So you tell us like how we are doing so far, what you love and what you want to be improved upon, or if there are like better means we could support you better. So we'd love to hear your feedback at maybe after every month or after some kind of duration in time. So I'll encourage you to always reach out to me or the cohort, or most importantly, like to engage in the Discord channel you'll be like added to. So this will help you to solidify your learning and also to discuss more with your colleagues, because it should be like a collaborative learning environment. So you learn from us and you also learn from your colleagues and we also learn from you. So always engage as much as possible. Yeah. So yeah, always reach out to me at any point in time. Yeah, so happy to answer any questions. I see like most of my colleagues are answering like really cool questions, are answering like most of your questions, but feel free to ask any question. You can unmute your mic if you want to.
Yeah, let me respond to all those questions that I saw.
Ah.
Also other people are asking the same is
Mm.
um publishing something researchable at the end. So as Mustafa showed you that some in the previous cohort there was some public research based stuff. Some student they did that, and maybe we can in this cohort we can scale that like the standard to be kind of way each group we can determine how quality the work the assignment is, and we can also push you to do publication. So I think one thing like maybe we can add on this, maybe we will have after maybe close to the end of the session, we can have like a separate sessions where we'll take you from the A to Z on how to write paper. For example, what is needed at the abstract, what are the quality of things, because at each section there are items that are needed to be written in it. So we can have session, for example, how to write abstract, how to write introduction to all the structure or writing a paper. We can do have that. On top of that, we can have like a one session probably like they will take you how to use overleaf, because all the research paper we are using, for example, computing, we are using overleaf, and I think overleaf allow you to collaborate and to do much more efficiently. So yeah, I think we will add this one, Mustafa, how
Yes.
we can, at the tail end of the program, we can have a session how we can write a research paper, and then also how we can, write on overleaf, so that when we group the participant into 5 or 6 or depending on the number, and they can work on the overleaf together, and then they can have their paper. And of course, we can look at, even if it is not that kind of big place. As a starting point, we can help you to send a paper to some places. In fact, we can help with if it involves like payment, if it is close or something like that, to pay for the paper. We from the house NLP already design, we can help to pay for the if it is something really cool at the end of the day, that people that have worked hard to put these things together, we can help that. um, yeah, I think you are in the right place to receive a great mentorship and support, provided you are committed and you put your time, because all those things, if you really, really need good outcome, you need to put good time, amount of time to learn and also be committed. Yeah. So just to respond to the Muiwa question about can we have a publishable research paper at the end? This is entirely different, dependent on you guys. If you think you can have something publishable, it depends on the commitment, it depends on effort you put, and yeah, that can be publishable. But as we cannot push you to write something publishable. It is from your own end. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please. Can you briefly maybe introduce yourself, then ask your question?
Okay, so my name is Mohammed Sule. I am pursuing my master's in France right now. So I joined a little bit late. I wanted to ask about the recordings. Where do we find the recordings of the sessions?
Okay, yes. So the recordings are on YouTube. So there's like the YouTube page for Arewa Data Science. So perhaps by latest like tomorrow or midweek, so you should be shared the recordings. Probably by that, let's say tomorrow, you'll be shared with the recordings on YouTube. And maybe someone can share the YouTube link so that maybe you can just check it out. You can also like look at the videos for the past cohort, but the recordings will be shared on YouTube. Yes.
Thanks.
On YouTube.
Thank you so
No
much.
worries. So you're welcome. There is Abubakar Sarisu. Feel free to unmute and ask your question.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Abubakar Salisu Labaran. I am currently studying at St. Petersburg Electrotechnical University. I was part of the last fellowship, but unfortunately, due to my travel and preparation, I was not able to see it through to the end. So my question is, like, it is necessary. I did at least 5-week assignments in the last fellowship. So it is necessary for me to start over, or I can simply pick up where I left. So thank you.
Okay, I thank you so much for your question, Abubakar. Yeah, I do remember like most of you were like very, very participative in the last session, and you like submitted most of your assignments on time, and you had like most of the correct assignments. No worries, we'll discuss yours. Yeah, I will get back to you on that, so you shouldn't worry much about that. So I do remember like you, I remember how you were very active in the participation. So don't worry, we'll discuss more about it. I will reach out to you about that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no worries. You're welcome. And there is Olarinwaju. Please kindly unmute.
Yes. Hello, Mustafa Abdullahi.
Hello.
My name is Larry Ayeni.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, sir.
I just want to ask a question based on what you mentioned under communication and feedback.
Okay.
When you mentioned that there is going to be a monthly feedback form,
Yes.
I was wondering at that point that what's the duration of this program?
Okay, yeah, nice question. So the duration of this program is approximately like 3 to 4 months. Yes, 3 to 4 months.
And also maybe it's
How long?
okay, maybe
Okay.
it's good to talk about like how often are we going to meet, because that determines how the duration is. I think Mustafa, how often are we meeting this time?
Yes.
Week. Yeah, each week.
Yeah, so the meeting will be once each week, like for the official sessions. That's for the one to take them through like the notebooks will be like once each week. So I will have to discuss with a bit of a TS. So it's likely you might get some support sessions, like if you are having challenges with the assignments, so to guide you through the assignments. But so far we'll be meeting like once each week, but there'll be active like communication on the Discord channel. Yes.
And as he said, like it will be once a week meeting, and it will be 3 months, right, Mustafa?
Yes, 3 to 4 months, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Olariwaju, please, it seems you have like some additional questions on the feedback. I'm not sure.
No, I'm good. I'm
Okay,
good.
okay. Awesome, awesome. Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
the weekly feedback, it's much more like from you to us. So we know like this kind of learning process, it's might not align well to everyone. So you kind of tell us like probably like what you enjoyed about the process and maybe what you feel we are missing out so that we get to improve with time so that we could maybe serve you better at the end of the day. Yes, so that's it. So there is a question from Abdul Ahmad. Feel free to unmute, please.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes. My question is, you talk packaging, starting with the architecture of the model. So I was thinking, since it's a limited time, are we reaching up to foundation models like the GPTs, the cloudies, or we are just limiting ourselves just to the core fundamentals of deep learning, the CNN, the recurrent neural networks? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, really nice question. I don't think we will reach up to foundation models because it's like very, I think for us, our focus will be much more on like deep learning, vision-based like architectures, mostly from like the basic neural networks to like some ResNet and some AlexNet models. So the core will be like mostly on computer-based vision model. So hopefully like after this course, for next course, you will deal with much more, that's for the NLP deep learning. Like that's like you likely deal with attention-based models, so transformer-based models. So hopefully then you might get to learn about like some key ingredients in like foundation models. So, but here it's a bit limited in scope and we don't have much time to go into that. Yes.
Yeah, just to add on that, so this course is to give the basic understanding on how you can use PyTorch, and we focus because the course content we are working on mainly focus on CV, that is computer vision. The expectation is at the end of the day you have a complete understanding on how to train model using PyTorch pipeline end to end, from how to prepare your data set, how you can configure your loop, training loop and everything. That's the main aim. And foundation model, for example, and moving forward for such as transformers and architecture and all other stuff would be the next. This is just simple. For example, if you want to do some stuff, you need to start from the beginning, and then the next thing you can do. That's why, for example, this session, we had the machine learning at the beginning, where we had people that did the machine learning, where we did the classical machine learning. For example, we even did like a Python, NumPy, Pandas, and then classical machine learning. That's in the first part of this course, where people get to know all those stuff, and then now they move to this one. So the next natural move is just to move also to the transformer based stuff after this one. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. I think there is Ibrahim Mishani. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Ibrahim. So my question is on the timing.
Okay.
Like, are we going to be meeting by this time, and how the attendance will be? For example, for me, it is really difficult to join by this time. It is very late. Where am I? So I just want to know the timing.
Okay. Nice question. So the timing, so most likely the time will be like exactly this time. It won't differ much by like +2 or -2 hours from now. And don't worry about the attendance. What's very key is for you to like watch the videos, the recordings. That's why we have the recordings. We know like the schedules might not align with one another. So we have like the videos on the YouTube channel. So what's very key for you, like finishing the cohort, is like finishing the assessment, weekly assessment, and the like capstone project. So, but as much as possible, try to attend if you can, as much as you can, because like you get to learn, since we'll be here and we'll get to interact much more actively. So then, but if you can't attend, it's fine, but try to see if you can attend. But if you can, then you have like the videos online in which you can watch. So hopefully it will be helpful for you, like getting to learn what you missed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. You're welcome. And there is Sani Abdullahi, please. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Mustafa. I'm
Yeah.
quite new here, and this is I came to know about the data science program recently. I'm currently doing my master's here in France,
Nice.
specializing in chemical engineering. So
Awesome.
but this is the peak time for me to learn this. I'm not sure whether I'm automatically selected to participate in the cohorts. You're talking about the cohort, which I had no idea about. So, because I really
Okay, a nice question. Maybe Doctor might answer, but very likely, I think we might need to wait for the next application window. I know if Doctor is, yeah, I think very likely you might, yeah, unfortunately, like, I think this cohort is like a bit close. So I think very likely there might be the next application. I'm not sure how close it or how soon it will be, but very likely you might need to like wait for next application window. But one thing is you can also like follow up on the YouTube like videos, so which might like help solidify your learning. So even the next cohort you could like really learn. So I think one really cool stuff is like almost everything about the fellowship is open source. So even though if you are not officially part of the fellowship, so you can still learn as much as you can. Yes.
All right, thank
you. Yeah, no, it's nice. And there is Utebi Abasi. Yes, please feel free to.
Yeah, just to add
okay.
on Mustafa,
Yes,
the thing is, of course, like everything like has need to have time opening and closing. If not, like it will not be structured. So as Mustafa said, this is open source, for example, and because we have limited time resources, for example, for people to manage, like to give each group mentors. If we open it like this now, it will be like more than 200 people, and that it becomes our the capacity we can coordinate. So it is often for you to join, for example, even our session, because it's in Zoom, you can join, learn together. The only thing is that officially we will not group people that just joined that are not part of the they are not admitted, like to give them to give mentors and as well to follow on their assignment. But you can join and learn. At the end also, we are not giving them like certificate for completion. So this is the main difference. But you can join and learn to hold together with the team, and also communicate in the Telegram channel and ask questions. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Please, Utebi Abasi. Yes, feel free to ask.
Okay. All right. So, good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. All right. So, I just have a few concerns. One of it is, okay, I think someone tried asking whether we'll be using Saturdays. That means if we're using Saturdays, and then how long? Is it 2 hours or 3 hours from the 8 p.m.? If we are going with 8 p.m. And then would there be I really have I want to really learn about researching. I want to start writing papers for publishing. So just like Doctor said, I would really appreciate that session where we can learn how to write research, how to publish, because I want to go into the academic. I want to go into the academic aspect, and I want to advance my career in data science academically and all of that. And yeah, I'm almost done with my master's, but it's in control engineering. Yeah, I'm in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. So I want to delve deep into more of research. Yeah, this year. And then also the third one, I'm also part of the Python fellowship. So I wanted to know when the Python fellowship is ending. Doctor can answer that. I don't know. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your question. I think for the first question, I can answer that. That's about the timing. So far, tentatively now, we'll fix it as Saturday, 8 p.m., but we'll like give you any information you need. And the hour span is like 1 hour for each of the like lecture. So, or each of the classes. So we try to finish the notebooks approximately like within 1 hour. So don't bother much, nothing like too extensive that's like too long for you. So I think there's a comment that 8 p.m. is like very good for workers, which I kind of totally agree. So and it's like mainly weekends. So if you're students, you'll be like likely free. So, but if there's any other information, then we will like help you with that. Then the second question is more of like research. So I think the doctor has like talked about it. Like it will be like so towards the end of the day, close to the end of the session, there will be like much more facilitated sessions by expert researchers to guide you through of how to research. But I think what's very key is for us to like learn the basics about this, the fundamentals of like deep learning and practical skills that will help us like run experiments. And so I think maybe doctor can comment more on the research. And I think the third question was about Python. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So that is why I take before previously we were using Telegram for communication, and recently we moved out, for example, from HostNLP to Discord, where the Discord is much structured. You can do much more. And also, I feel like people here in deep learning with Python, they are more advanced than people that just started learning Python, because they may say, I cannot do Discord, but Discord is better way to do communication. Maybe you guys, you don't know Discord, but we 100% Discord is the best way to manage communication, better than Slack and WhatsApp and Telegram. So currently, some people I can see they are really eager and also enthusiastic about research. So one of the key things is we from House NLP, which is encouraging research in NLP. Right now, we are mentoring about 30 students on how to do research. In fact, the main aim is to publish a paper. Each of the group, for example, they are participating in shared text, and we have the given topic to them. In fact, some of them are here as well. And we group students, for example, to 6 to 7 to 8, and we post them to the pipeline, how to, do the research, and, how to publish paper, how to write, how to train the model. And each one of them will write, all of them, they will write the paper at the end. So this is the reason why I'm also taking our discussion from this Telegram to our Discord, so that we ultimately got to have this kind of mentorship for participants, where we'll have sessions on how to do research. Some of the team members are here that can facilitate that. For example, we have Dr. Ibrahim, who is from Northwest University, USA, who is also doing postdoc. We have Dr. Idris, who is also a postdoc in South Africa. We also have Dr. Hafsa, who was recently finished her PhD in China. So we have people that can mentor toward research, how you can do. All of them, they are PhD, from NLP and deep learning or machine learning in general. So definitely this is something that we put together, our aim. So yeah, we will have a plan for that. And as I said previously, having something publishable does not depend on their mentor. It depends on you. Work hard to put things together to make it publishable. He can only guide you to make sure things comes out in a better shape. Yeah. So I don't know if this question is answered, Mustafa.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question, for the answers. Yeah, I think you mentioned one about like Python and when it will end. Okay, I think you've answered it about not starting. You can't start the deep learning while doing the Python. Seems it's on the Python fellowship, so he can't start the deep learning fellowship without finishing the Python fellowship.
What the question, Mustafa?
No, one question I think the former person asked was like participating in this fellowship while still doing the Python fellowship. I think he can't do that, right? He needs to finish the Python fellowship
Yeah,
first.
you need to finish the Python, because like your experience, you may struggle, as we said, for example, the machine learning key concept and the Python. But as we said, like this is something often. You can watch the recording on YouTube. In fact, you can attend our session just to look, but you not be part of the, the session. Yeah, so what we advise is, in fact, we ask participants when you're applying that, do you have any prior machine learning? That's what you tick your box or submit your certificate. That means your experience will be smooth. But when you don't have those kind of prior experience, the moment we start doing, you'll be, oh, I don't know that you'll be asking much question that you should know before. Prerequisite is essential. It's not like we are chasing you away, don't participate, but it's really essential so that you'll have a smooth interaction and smooth learning experience. Yeah. But our resources are open and you can learn from there. So.
Thank you, Doctor. And I think just a few more questions. Alfred, yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
My question goes like concerning the data camp course. Are you giving us the license or later in the course?
Doctor, since you're on mute, Doctor.
I'm saying concerning the data camp courses with PyTorch.
Yes.
Are we giving access now or later in the course in the course?
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Alfred, for your question. I know if Doctor is like there to answer. Yeah, if Doctor can please answer. Yeah, thank you, Alfred. Like your question was clear. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I would say, so maybe Doctor will give like confirmation about this. So for the, I think likely I'm not, Doctor, I think there is a question about like the data camp, what's the name, certification or like when the access will be. I don't think in this course there is like anything with data camp.
Well, what was done?
Mustafa, is the question?
Yes, please. Yes, there's a question about like data camp certifications, like when will access be? I'm thinking this course we don't have.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Data camp for the participant, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All the people that have been admitted officially into the Arewa DS, I mean the PyTorch session, we plan to give them like access to DataCamp, where in parallel, because we are doing this PyTorch with deep learning here, they are learning, but we give them access to DataCamp, where in DataCamp there is a course, I think PyTorch or something like that, where they can also learn from there and they can have certificate for that separately from our own, which also solidify their experience of learning. I think Abdul Jalil can tell us more because he's communicating with Datacom, and I expect that they will today is 11, right? They will activate our account because it expired last year, and we reapplied, and they said that they will reactivate our account this year, and we have like a lot of seats to give to people in this community and also everyone in the this cohort. So the main idea is while we are doing this, just for you to also get another certificate and also another experience, we give you the PyTorch with deep learning from Datacam Access. It's a structured course as well that you can do on your own. This is not something that compulsory, like maybe I can say, because you guys, we know you may be committed, some are doing PhD or something like that, so we cannot push much pressure on you with many courses. This is a primary course, the one we are doing here, but that one is something that can help you to learn more, along the process. Yeah, I think, does that make sense, Mustafa?
Yes, yeah, it's perfect. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, so we'll reach out to them, everyone, when everything is okay, and we can enroll everyone into Datacom.
Oh, nice. Thank you very much, Doctor. Alfred, I don't know if you still have any questions. So, okay. So, please, Abdul Hafiz, yes.
Yeah, thank you and good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. My question, I think part of Dr. Shamsuddin had already answered some part of my question. It's about, I think at the beginning, Mustafa, you mentioned that it's not actually a prerequisite to have participated in the previous cohort or having solid knowledge of machine learning. So my question is it recommended that one should check the resources page or the YouTube to at least get very much conversant with the machine learning materials already shared in the previous cohorts, or it's fine, we can proceed like that? I mean, for those that are not actually solid with machine learning.
Ah, I see. Yes, so I would say maybe a good point for learning is maybe look at like the past cohorts for like Python and machine learning. So maybe what they've done or resources or any online resources that you can find that will help you. So depending on how your style of learning, but like this cohort is not dependent on like the resources or like what they've learned on the previous cohort. So, but if you have like the general knowledge of machine learning and Python and general knowledge of machine learning, so you are good to go. So in case within the like fellowship, so we will try as much as possible to recap things about machine learning and give much more insights of that. So even if you've forgotten, it's normal. So it's normal to forget. So we'll still like recap and like go over like a few things, but not as like how it would be like in depth as like, let's say, a normal machine learning course. So I think the best way to like get any resources on machine learning and learn as quickly as possible, then like you can, if you're interested in this particular like lectures or fellowship, then you can follow along.
Yeah, just to add that, so as you said, it's not prerequisite to have been participating in our ADS. What we said prerequisite is to have prior machine learning experience. It's not that you participate in our data science machine learning. We just ask, okay, are you cohort are you participant from Arewa data science? If not, we ask you, do you have machine learning experience? Upload your certificate. So that's it. So this is just sample, for example, prerequisite, for example. You are doing, for example, mathematics, you cannot just go and start learning differential equation without having, for example, basic, algebra. It will be difficult for you to, but we are not saying it's not something doable. It's something that you can learn, catch along the way. I can remember when I was back in 2013, I think, when I was a master's student at University of Manchester. The first class we are going to do machine learning class. At that point, we came all the way, many Nigerians, like 10 of us, to University of Manchester Computer Science, and we enroll into machine learning class. We don't know machine learning. At that time, machine learning was not that a big deal. It's not something that is well known. Machine learning now, everyone. So when we started, we went to the class. We were thinking, oh, the lecturer, professor said, if you don't have prerequisite on mathematics, statistics, you don't know all those stuff, you will struggle in the course and whatsoever. You say, what? All of us Nigerian, we went and removed the course. And then it is after I was saying, oh no, man, this man scared me. He would have, allow me. And I had to start over to learn because
whoa.
I ended up, for example, a lot of us went back to do missing security and some, all those stuff. So, for example, mine is general computer science, but some went and do MSc security. Because of this, like the impression he gave us, like this is something difficult if you don't have mathematics background. If believe me, like if he allow us, because all of our set at that point were good students, all of them, like they are. If they are not first class, they are, all of them, so they are good, they can cope. But the impression you gave us, like negative, is that you must be. So what we are saying is that you can cope, but it's gonna be challenging for you if you don't. But if you have the political side, that would be most for that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So I think there are like two more people. There is Ahmad. Yes, please go on.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
I
evening.
just have only one question. What's the ultimate aim of this in the end? That's just my simple question, because I really want to know what you guys want to gain out of it and what you want us to gain out of it, basically.
Okay. Yeah, that's like really good question. So I think one just general point of note is like as you look at like the landscape of the world with regards to AI, there is like there's like a lot of under-resourced people or like knowledge of AI within like the global south, which includes Nigeria. So particularly like the particular aim is for you to learn like really key influential skills regarding AI. And in this particular sense, it's like deep learning with PyTorch. So at the end of the day, we want you to be able to like train a computer vision model and learn to deploy it. So this might be helpful for you, especially in your career. If you want to go into the industry or academia, so you learn how to like get started with projects and learn to finish them end to end. So that's one. So at the end of the day, what's in there for you is like the technical skills you will learn. So you'll be very conversant with PyTorch, learning to train and deploy models and get to learn about like deep learning workflows. So that's what's in it for you. So for us, it's more of like the bigger picture. So the bigger picture of like getting more people like much more conversant with these tools, and we really don't know at the end of the day what impact you might be. So perhaps what impact might be to all of us. So we might be looking at the next perhaps Nobel laureate winner, so who has built like some AI for some like really impressive drug discovery. So it's more of like just some baby steps towards some like kind of ultimate goal. So but for you right now, I think the key thing, the expectation is more of like learn key skills with PyTorch, which is like very, very key, especially if you are applying for some kind of key roles, either in academia or industry. Maybe you're applying for some master's, PhD, or some maybe research scientist position. So it will be very helpful for you at the end of the day. So that's a career prospects. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for the question. Nice one. I think one more question from.
Yeah, we have
Yes.
4 minutes to be on top of the hour.
I think one final question from
Yeah.
Siraju, then we call it a day. Yes, Siraju. So I think maybe Suraj is not nearby. So I think it's really, so I guess we might call it a day. So it's really nice like hearing and getting to meet you. So far it's like really, really exciting. So looking forward to like starting the sections proper. So hopefully you are like motivated and inspired, and I hope to see like the outcome of this session, particularly like your submissions and also like the the research projects, and we get to learn from one another at the end of the day. So just feel free, as Doctor has mentioned, there's a Discord, so feel free to send your messages, feel free to ask any questions, so no dumb questions. So anything you feel you don't know, so someone knows it, so just feel free to ask. Don't be like ashamed or embarrassed about any kind of question. Just feel free to ask questions. So I'm very sure like people will be there to assist as much as possible. So it's really nice meeting you this good evening. So and looking forward to more of our interactions in the future, inshallah. So yeah, so that's majorly nice to.
Okay, good. Thank you, everyone. Please do join the Discord channel, and we can start discussion there. More information will be first, I think, via email. But if you have any, you can start sending or asking questions via the Discord. I already shared the link for the Discord, and it right now in the Discord in the channel. Yeah, as I said previously, we are using Telegram, but now we are moving which is more better to communicate. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you. As well, just maybe Mustafa, maybe after the discussion about the timing and about the frequency and everything, send them to email and discuss in the channel as well.
Okay. So I will do that. Yeah. Thank you very much, Doctor.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the